Cingari here with tough contestant Dhiego Lima. Dhiego, welcome to the show. How are you tonight?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. How has being on Tough 19 changed you as a fighter?
It really didn't change me as a fighter. It made me a better fighter, of course, because all you do is train there. But it really didn't change anything. I did the same thing that I do there back home. I do the same type of training back home. Everything they did over there, I do back here. So, it made me better because there's really no worries over there. You just train. That's all you do. You don't have to worry about any problems at home or anything like that. So that's the biggest difference. But fighter-wise, I did the same thing back here. I'm always training, and it was awesome.
What was it like to be coached by Frankie Edgar then?
It was pretty awesome. I didn't know, man, that guy is one of the hardest working guys I've ever seen. He actually trained us like, hey, you want to be a champion? This is how you got to train, And that's why it made me really excited, because that's how I trained back home. And, it just lit that fire on me. It was like, man, I'm on the right path, And it's just, he's awesome. He's really hard worker. He trains like 3 times a day. And, he brought his whole coaching staff to help us. And he's just a great guy, period.
In a recent interview I did with Tom Monahan, better known as MMA Preacher, he complimented you on your cooking skills. So what did you cook in the house that he was so happy with, and he said that you fed everybody so well?
Yeah, it mostly was my rice, because Brazilians have a different way to do rice. Most Americans, all they do is they just boil it and let it drain. And, Brazilians do it different. We cook the oil first, and we use some garlic, and then we actually steam it really well. So it's a little different, and that's how they always love it. I had to make pretty much a bowl of rice every day for these guys. And the other thing was a guacamole. I make a really good guacamole dip, so we pretty much had that all the time. And, I keep it basic. Those I don't cook very differently. I cook kind of the same, but the stuff I do is pretty amazing. So that, he was healthy, and we just had a blast.
So which fighter on the show do you have the least respect for then, looking back?
The least respect, I pretty much respect everyone. I'm not that type of fighter. Everybody was really the same, There was really no controversy, anything like that in the house. So I don't think I really didn't have any respect for anyone. I pretty much had respect for everybody, I don't think, they were pretty much all cool with me, because I was one of the nice guys. But, some of the guys didn't like each other. They're like, Matt Van Buren and Roger Zapata and like Eddie and Roger Zapata. Pretty much that would be the one most of the guys didn't like, But I didn't have a problem with anybody. I'm a nice guy, and it was just like that.
Yeah, that's funny you mentioned that, because when I interviewed Adam Troupe, who you won, he mentioned to me that even though he had lost to you to, move forward, he was really happy to see and was rooting for you to win the Ultimate Fighter. So that's a good
that's awesome.
A nice guy.
He actually he mentioned me on Twitter as well, so he did, and it was awesome. I really appreciated that.
Now,
he's a real tough guy. I'm looking forward to watching him as well.
Big controversy this week with the Pat Walsh defection. You were quite outspoken in the show about it. Did you guys kiss and make up afterwards, or what's the real deal? What really went on after that?
Yeah, afterwards, it was fine, it was fine. Afterwards, we all made up. He just went to that one. He just pretty much caught us off guard, We didn't know, because, Frankie was not going to tell him, hey, go train with the blue team. That's not the type of guy Frankie is, So I don't know if he said that Frankie did, but I'm sure Frankie didn't say that. And, it was different for us because we really got really close being there. Us, 8 of us, we actually have a group text right now. We group text every day. Him to bet, I think he was just more nervous. He was getting more nervous. Everything was kind of getting to him. He's like, I need to do extra training, but he was pretty much, he had 4 days till his fight. Nobody trains hard 4 days before a fight. So, but that's why I really got upset. It's like, man, you don't need no extra training. We've been training here for 5.5 weeks. You got 4 days to fight and go home. So there's really no need for extra training. What are you going to learn, what are you going to learn from one practice there that you haven't learned here in 5 weeks? So that's why I was really upset. But we all made up. He was fine at the end, and he ended up being the red team,
You have a big fight coming up next week on The Ultimate Fighter. What can fans expect to see when they turn into the show and watch you battle it out with Zapata then?
They can expect every time I walk in the cage, it's a fight. That's it. I don't lay and pray. I don't do any of that. I go in the fight. I look for the finish every second of the fight. And, Zapata's kind of the same way. He's a really great boxer. He likes to fight. He doesn't like to go to the ground. So you can expect fireworks. It was a really fun fight. Fans are really going to like it.
I'm looking forward to that one for sure. This question is from Twitter. Mr. Tintin wants to know, who wins in a fight, you or your brother? And why does everyone seem so lethargic this season? Is it a result of overtraining?
Fight between me and my brother, I would have to give it to him. We train together every day, but if it's in a fight, it would probably be him. He's the more calm guy, and he's just been training for a long time. And I pretty much, when I first started, he was already a purple belt, so I've been learning everything from him, So if he come down to a fight, I'm sure he'll be the one that he knows exactly what I'm going to do, so he'll be my worst opponent. But I still give him a run for his money in practice.
Anything else you'd like to add?
Not for that one. And then for the season, guys fighting like that, it's just, I think most of the guys were saving themselves for the semifinals. I think that's what had happened. Like the first couple of fights, everyone was fighting safe. Nobody wanted to get injured. I had no choice. I got beat up in the first round, so I had to come back and fight my way through it. That's why my fight was better. But I wouldn't fought like that. It's like my style of fighting. I always come to fight too. I don't say I was going to play it safe. There's no way for me to do that. I'm not a great wrestler. I can't take you down and just hold you down, so I have to fight. But I think most guys, that's what they did. And then at the end, I don't know what happened. Cajal and Eddie, that wasn't a great fight. That wasn't a great fight either, just because of Cajal's style, He just wanted to grab, he had no stand-up skills. He just wanted to grab him. And then Pat and Corey, they just it seemed like the experience level wasn't there. That's why everybody was talking about. That's what I was reading and stuff. And everybody's like, man, what are these guys doing? It's just the experience level didn't seem there yet. But those guys are really hard workers, and, they're going to get a shot. It's going to be good. They're going to be great fighters.
Do you feel like you had a bit of an advantage, being that we could say that MMA is in your genes with your brother already being a fighter?
I believe so. Once we got there, when we started training and stuff, I believe so. I believe that, like, I was a little ahead on most of the stuff on the ground, because a lot of the fighters were young fighters, and I really felt my experience when we started training and stuff. Even the coaches told me a couple of times, man, you have some good experience, and I was like, yeah, because I've been training with these guys for a long time. Like Brian Stan, I trained with him ever since his career, got that boom, and my brother's always been fighting, so I've been with these guys for a while, and I think it really paid off when we started training there. It really showed my experience.
Dhiego Lima, thank you for your interview. Before I go, is there anything else you'd like to add?
No, I just want to thank all the fans, everybody supporting me. I really appreciate that. And make sure you follow me on Twitter. It's DH Lima MMA. And, thanks again for having me. I had a blast, and can't wait for you guys to see the fight on Wednesday.
I can't wait to see it either. Dhiego Lima, thank you very much for joining us today. You can follow me on Twitter at Susan Cingari and subscribe to my YouTube channel below. You can also see these news reports at MMAFightFans.com. I'm Susan Cingari, and remember, every fighter has a story. Thanks for joining us.